This is First Snap Podcast, and today we're talking about the Oakland Raiders on Hard Knocks. Let's do it. Man, how exciting is it to have the Oakland Raiders on Hard Knocks? I mean, I'm ecstatic, super excited, and this honestly something that I've been pretty much wanting all my life as a Raider fan, to have an in-depth look at the ins and outs of the Oakland Raiders organization as if you were a fly on the wall. I mean, you can't get more excited than this. So we're going to get right into it. I got some topics I want to talk about that's I'm looking forward to seeing on Hard Knocks. I'm going to get right into it. I'm your host, Yancey, and my co-host is not with us today, T. Grand, but he will be back with us soon. So let's hop right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the passion of Jon Gruden and how it relates to him running a football team. Now, Jon Gruden, as we know, hasn't been coaching for 10 years. He's been in the booth, and a lot has changed. He's now a different person, how he handles players. He's different on how he goes about his business, and it's evident on seeing Jon Gruden in the first year. Now, his first season, when he was actually the coach of the Oakland Raiders years ago and then traded to the Bucks, his personality he epitomized the Chucky mentality. How he went about his business, how he was tough and hard-nosed, and how he basically let the players have it. And basically, didn't hold his tongue on how he spoke to them. So I want to see how that has transitioned into being the head coach of the Oakland Raiders in 2019, because he still has to discipline his players. So I want to see how he goes about disciplining his players and how he go about his business, because there's a thin line between being a nice guy and then getting on your players. Every coach in the NFL has their own way of doing it, and I want to see how he goes about it when players are not doing exactly what he likes them to do. Because if you're not getting on the players, then what are you doing? If you're not being able to address them in a way that they'll be able to respond to it, then you have to find a way of doing it, and I want to see that. So I want to see his passion. I want to see how he, eats, sleeps, and breathes Oakland Raiders. I want to see the film room when he's talking, and we get a chance to eat all of that up on HBO Hard Knocks. So that's a very, 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 very interesting topic to be able to discuss and actually watch when they began broadcasting in early August. The next topic of conversation I want to get into is the market value. Now, we all know as Raider fans, we've been ready to eat this. Anything Oakland Raiders, media, news, Oakland Raider fans are all for it. So from a market value, I think the Raiders are really the most intriguing and most, how do I put this? They are the most wanted when it come down to, you want to see about the brand, you want to know about the brand, and people really, really gravitate to the Raiders. And this marketing value is at an all-time high. We got the stadium coming up. We had the 3 first-round picks. We got Jon Gruden. We got AB. We even have so-called bad guys like Richie Incognito. So the market value is really, really high right now as far as the Raiders and their brand. And to be able to have the opportunity to be on Hard Knocks, it's a no-brainer. It's obvious reason why they chose the Raiders. They're the perfect fit. The HBO going to get great market value. The Raiders are going to get great market value. And I had talked about this beforehand on saying that the Raiders should be accepting and, wanting to be on Hard Knocks, because this is going to bring their brand to a whole nother level. Just seeing the Raiders symbol alone on Hard Knocks is just going to bring the market value up that much higher. So It's a great marketing value. Before we go to Vegas, I believe it's going to bring more fans, going to bring more of the craze, more of the fanatics, and more people wanting to wear the actual silver and black. Real men were black, real women were black. So it's just that mentality and that whole history about the Raiders that everybody's going to get a chance to eat up and absorb. And I think we've been waiting for an opportunity like this. So the market value is off the roof. I mean, I'm expecting, everything to go up. The value and everything to go up. Now, of course, I want it to be at a price where everybody can afford it, but I'm expecting the tickets to go up. I'm expecting the attire, the Raider image clothing brand, and I'm expecting everything to go up as far as value, and not necessarily price, but value. I mean, it's going to be more valuable. You're going to see more people rocking the silver and black, and everybody knows that. They say the Cowboys are America's team. Well, the Raiders are the world's team. Bottom line, simple as that. You go across the seas, overseas. You see the brand all overseas. We done already took over Wembley Stadium. We done already took over in Mexico. We done already took over other team stadiums playing in their home stadium. We done took over and made it a blackout. And I expect to do the same thing in Canada this year. So it's obvious that we're the world's team, and we get a chance to expand that brand, which I'm very excited about. The next topic I want to get into is how exciting it is for the fans. Now, as I mentioned earlier, as a Raider fan, we wanted to, especially those seasons when we really wasn't that good. And we're still really not that good. We got to prove it right now, except if you're speaking about a couple years ago. But during that span, it was rare that you see anything Oakland Raiders related on big platforms. We're talking about NFL Network. We're talking about ESPN. We're talking about First Take. We're talking about all these big-time shows. It's rare that they spoke about Raiders, anything. And if they did, it was a very, very small 15-30 minute segment, and they was on to the next subject. So as a Raider fan, we always been hungry for exposure and hungry for media, hungry for news as it relates to the Oakland Raiders. So this is a grand opportunity for us to get all the exposure that we want. I mean, we can go to sleep full off exposure and be able to rewatch and watch over again. So as a fan, we're going to get everything we wanted. We're going to be that fly on the wall. We're going to be in a position where we can be able to actually see how it's done in the Oakland Raiders organization and get a chance to just see all the bells and whistles and how it works. It's so exciting. We're going to be almost like a personnel executive. We're almost going to be like a coach. We're going to be like a trainer. We're going to be like any one of these different positions in the locker room, and we're going to get a chance to see, the cuts when people the player trying to make the 53-man roster. I mean, you've seen Hard Knocks before. You've seen how in depth they are. So we're gonna get a chance to get everything we want as fans, and this right here made the whole rest of my year. It made my whole year, honestly, because if I had knew this going into the year, I would have been like, oh my God, it's going to be a great year. Raiders on Hard Knocks. But now that I know it now, I'm so excited. So it's going to make Christmas better. It's going to make everything better. So I don't know about you guys, but I got my popcorn ready. The next subject I want to get into is the personalities of the superstars. That's one of the reasons why they even chose the Raiders as the clear choice, is because the personality of the superstars is just going to be so magnified, and we're going to get a chance to really, really zero in on what makes these guys tick. We're talking about the ABs. We're talking about the bad guys, so-called bad guys, and Richie Incognito. We're talking about seeing people like John Gruden and all these different personalities. We're going to get a chance to see how they go about their business, how they are with the cameras on them, their response through adversity. I mean, it's going to be must-see TV. I'm even excited about people like Paul Gunther. I'm excited about seeing Mike Mayock with the camera on him. I'm excited about the rookies. So, I mean, I want to ask you guys, who you guys are most excited to see on Hard Knocks this year? Who are you most excited about as far as seeing their personality? So put that in the comments. Let me know who you're excited to see, and what are you excited to see in this upcoming season of Hard Knocks, because the personalities are there, and that's gonna really carry this whole entire season of Hard Knocks. The last subject I want to get into is subject about how the Raiders are actually ran as a franchise. We know that, you know, each organization are a tad bit different as far as how they run their organizations. Yeah, it's football. Yeah, they have operations, trainers, this and that, but each team have a different way of how they run an organization, especially depending on how long certain pieces has been in place. And they have a certain way. The Patriots have a certain way. Everybody have a certain way of running their organization. So I want to see how the Oakland Raiders run their organization, how that mentality, how that whole aura is. I want to see the walls. I want to see all the Raiders memorabilia, and I want to see all the action that goes on inside the doors of the Oakland Raiders organization. And I think it's must see television, and we get a chance to get that in-depth look of how they run an organization. I mean, it's so many different things. I mean, we get a chance to see Mark Davis, and how he go about his business. Mike Mayock, how he go about his business. First year as GM. Obviously, Coach Gruden, ins and out. Just imagine Coach Gruden in his office and talking X's and O's, talking with the other coaches and about players that he love and how he wants to see them grow and what is he's expecting for the players this year. Just imagine the players they're talking about cutting, and how the players are not stepping up, and how certain things that he want to see from these players he's not getting it out of them. Just imagine seeing that, and just imagine how he's so passionate about the Raiders brand and what he expects for the Raider brand, and how he expects, you know, them this season to be able to react against adversity, and, you know, just the whole ins and out of it, you know, how they're running this organization. I mean, there was a lot of speculation about last year on the Assembly interview about how they ran the organization and how it was kind of dysfunctional a little bit, according to Assembly. And Assembly obviously is our all-pro guard that we traded to the Jets this year, for the people that don't know. And he had an in-depth interview about how it was it's a little weird how they ran the organization as far as a lot of few things. You guys can check the interview out if you don't know what I'm talking about. So we get a chance to see just how everything is ran and how tight it is. Is it like a Ferrari, or is it like a hoopty? We want to know. So that's it for right now. I'm going to go ahead and get back with you guys later on. I just want to give you guys a quick in and out of what I'm expecting for the Raiders on Hard Knocks. Let's get it. Let's eat this up. This is the opportunity for us as fans to be super fans and really, really get a chance to just get everything we wanted, as if we was, you know, these other franchises that they broadcast and show all this media information and news about. They'll talk about the Patriots for a whole hour on ESPN. They'll talk about Cam Newton's arm on Good Morning Football for a whole 30 minutes. I mean, come on, guys. There's other teams out here. So we get a chance to get that in fans, and I'm super excited. So until next time, Raider Nation, this is First Snap Podcast. This is Yancey, and I'm out. Talk to you guys soon. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure you leave comments, and talk to you guys soon. All right.